Hi friends! Welcome back to my channel. I'm Elizabeth and my channel is called Nursing and Makeover, and today's video is a requested video from one of my friends, Ashton, who is a new mom. And what she wanted me to film is a video where I try and do a 5-minute face because as a new mom she doesn't have a ton of time. Ashton wanted me to make a video that is something that she could replicate and do at home every day, and I felt that this was a really good idea for not just her, but for a lot of people that are in my life because most of my friends have just had babies recently. So whether you have a baby or not, I think that this could be a really fun video to watch because everyone at some point has someplace they're trying to get to in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and there's just not enough time to do a full face. Through my recommendations of how to get your best face on in 5 minutes. So to start, I think that you should, when you get up in the morning, if you know you're running late, just take a moment to try and splash something on your face just to kind of freshen it up, either water. I'm using a toner today, but just try and freshen the skin. And this doesn't have to take all day, just a quick little swipe, because if there's anything like remnants of sleep on your face, let's just get it off. If you are truly in such a hurry that there's just no option of doing almost any makeup, what I would recommend is brushing out your brows just a little bit and using this one product. It's by CO Bigelow and it's their Rose Solve, and it's intended for skin, for face, for lips. So I would put it on your lips and it just is going to give you a glossy shine. I would blink a little bit into your eyelashes. It's obviously not going to be just like mascara, but it is going to help separate and make the lashes just a little bit lifted. And then you could even add a little bit into the brows that you brushed up, just to kind of almost be like a pomade. If you weren't so inclined, you could put this on the high points of your cheeks and just kind of look like you have like a little bit of a highlight on almost. But again, this is just a solve. So this right here is my, I have 0 time and I have 1, maybe 2 products. I guess after you put the solve on, you could also brush your brows again, but that is like my ultimate if I only had one product in like 1 minute to get ready. My next option is to lay down a serum. I'm actually using up samples today. So that I'm using Ole Henriksen's Vitamin C Brightening Serum. And I have tried this serum. It's really nice. I do like it. I prefer Sea Firma by Drunk Elephant. So in the month of September, I'm trying to use up samples. And so far, I mean, I have used a ton. So if you would like me to do a video where I go through some of the samples that I've used up and kind of review them, even though it would obviously be like I haven't used the product for an extended period of time, I'd be happy to do that. Serum is a step that you could skip, but one of my recommendations for trying to do a quick face is either have all of your products that you're going to be using in a bag that's at the ready, or if you have a vanity to get ready at, or if you get ready at your bathroom counter, make sure that all of your products that you're going to be using are out and within hand's reach. That'll cut time so you're not looking for things, and just curate your collection down to what you're actually going to be using as a new mom. And I would caution from full face foundation or anything like that. I feel like you need to be doing things for your skin that are adding like hydration back in, because I think as a new mom, it's really easy to get dehydrated, particularly if you're breastfeeding or if you're taking care of your baby during the day, just you. If your hands are always full and you're tied up, easy to become dehydrated, and you're going to be focusing probably more so on your baby, not yourself. So doing really good base skincare, I say, is the thing that you should be focusing on. So I've got a serum on. The next thing I'm going to do is moisturize, and I'm using my SPF to moisturize. So on a typical day for me, I would do multiple phases of serums and moisturizers, but for the 5-minute face, I would use my SPF as my moisturizer because you need to be wearing sunscreen. every day. And then I'm planning on adding my debronzy to my sunscreen. It gives me just a little bit of tint. Just one pump. It works on fair skin tones too, surprisingly, because it's really dark in the tube. You'd never think it would work, but it does. The debronzy is going to help even the skin tone because it has just a slight amount of pigment. And then never do anything without sunscreen is kind of my MO. If you're concerned about the effects of aging on your skin, you've got to be using sunscreen, or else everything else you're doing, you're kind of fighting an uphill battle. Everything's against you. If you don't own the debronzy, or it's not a product you're interested in for this step, I would recommend adding just a little pump of your tinted moisturizer to your SPF, or if you have any pigment drops, Cover FX makes one, Dermablend makes one. You could take your SPF and add just a couple of drops of pigment. That way you're getting a little bit of tone onto the skin, but you're not doing a full face of base makeup or anything even remotely close to that. It's just, the point is to try and get a little bit of even tone on the skin. And don't forget your neck. I always forget my neck. Next step I would definitely be attempting is concealer. Pick a concealer that works for you, not too full coverage, hopefully not too drying. Even if you have oilier, you tend towards oilier skin, I think that you should give yourself a concealer that's not going to be looking like, why is she wearing concealer and not foundation? And just add a little in the spots where you may need it. As in, for new moms, I think that probably under the eyes would be a place that you want to focus on. And then if there's any other areas where your skin is just feeling like it needs a little extra attention, go there too. I'm definitely in no way trying to make this this concealer be used heavy-handed in a way that it suddenly turns into you're essentially wearing foundation. The key for this is we're not actually trying to completely conceal anything. We are just trying to add a little bit of evenness to the skin, and you know, if you're having some major discoloration, try and neutralize it somewhat, but not just be like, oh, flawless. All right, and then I'm using a damp beauty blender. I would also definitely recommend wearing eye cream, but if you don't have time for that, then do your eye cream at night or whenever you're laying down for a nap or something. Right? Yeah, I'm sure you're napping. By the way, I am not a new mom and I am not a mother, but so many of my friends are that I've just been thinking of what they tell me and their personal needs going into this video, so I didn't want to portray like I also am a new mother. I'm not. All right, so now that the base of the face is done, my recommendation is to, if you don't already own one, purchase a palette that is multi-purpose. So I recommend, if you like cream products, the Josie Maran Vibrancy palette. I have used this very much. This color looks like it would be fuchsia clown pink on your skin, but it's absolutely not. It blends out very naturally. You have a bronzer shade and then two shimmer shades that are highlighters, but really they just add like a nice dewiness to the skin. And this formula, it can be a little bit dry almost in the pan, but if you just add a little argan oil to your finger and go into the pan, or if your skin is already pretty hydrated and when you're tapping the product onto the skin, it moistens up really easily. And if this gets exposed to a warmer temperature, it becomes very pliable, moist, soft as well. If you're looking for more of a powder product, I personally love the Becca Chrissy Teigen. I'm struggling to open it. Okay, here we go. The Becca by Chrissy Teigen face palette with two highlighters, a bronzer, and a blush. Again, the blush kind of looks daunting in this palette, but it works on my skin tone, and you can just go light-handed into this. Some other face palettes I pulled that I recommend, but don't like. The one drawback of these palettes, I've got the NARS Cheek Studio. You get beautiful bronzer shades, you get a setting shade, you get all of these blushes. No highlight in this, so that's kind of unfortunate. Sorry about the mirror issue. that's blinding you guys. This is a great multi-purpose palette, but no highlight. So if you're not into highlight, this might be a good option. And then Tarte always releases a holiday palette, and this is from a few years back, but it's a set of blushes and a bronzer. This blush has been the one that I use the most, and also the bronzer. Again, no highlight in this palette, but whenever you have a palette like this, it's very multi-purpose, and I'll show you how. So for me, I'm going to go into the Becca Chrissy Teigen palette, and I'm going to take a soft, fluffy brush, nothing exact, go into the bronzer palette, or sorry, the bronzer, and just dust on my eye. No primer, nothing. I'm just, and this is obviously not very exact. My goal is just to add a little bit of shading into my eyeball region. Just a little bit of shading. Then I'm going to take my large bronzer brush. I'm going to go in that same bronzer and bronze my face. The key to this being a 5-minute face is that you are not having to go into multiple products and reach all over the place. This is something that you truly can achieve quickly. So quickly, in fact, that I just threw my brush out of my hand. Add bronzer wherever the sun would hit your face and just allow it to bring some freshness to you. This is the palette that I would choose for me personally, but just take that with a grain of salt for you and be looking for a face palette that meets your needs. If you're not into highlight but you love blush and bronzer, then pull for a palette that contains a diverse mix of blushes and bronzers, and feel free to mix them. If you are a highlight person, then make sure that your face palette includes highlight. All right, then I am gonna add just a teensy bit of blush, and this is how I go into this guy. And just work that onto the cheeks. I'm even gonna take the excess and just dust it on my eyes. I'm just trying to make the eyes look awake. That's it. Add a little bit of color to them. Now with that same brush, I'm gonna dip into my highlight, and I'm really going minimal here and just buff a little onto the high points of my face. You could skip this step, but I do not want my highlight to be very much. I just want it to help kind of brighten the skin. The last step is mascara. Any mascara will do, any mascara that you prefer. However, I would recommend getting one that's not so cheap that a lot of mascaras that are on the cheaper end of things do tend to flake. And if you have sensitive eyes or are pulling long nights, like I imagine you most likely are, then a mascara flaking is not the best feeling, basically. I mean, it doesn't look good either, but it's not a great feeling. If you are also so inclined, when you're choosing a mascara, you could end up choosing a waterproof formula. I personally don't love a waterproof formula because I find that it's very tough to remove, and I don't like tugging at my eye skin that much. But if you are worried about smudging or it getting on the under eye, or potentially you might be, speaking for myself here, I don't know, perhaps crying, maybe you would want to try waterproof formula and see how that works for you. And remember, like I said, as my first step, just make sure you have a little bit of rose salve on, or any kind of multitasking basic balm. You're gonna be like kissing your baby and putting their toys, maybe like a pacifier or something, in your mouth. So having any kind of like gloopy gloss or like potential like lipstick that might transfer, I would probably caution away from. I think that something that's just going to add hydration back to your lips is going to be really comfortable and exactly what you're probably looking for. And I just think this is extremely multitasking. Like, you've got a torn cuticle, you can slap that on there too. You want to put some on your face, you got a dry spot, you can put this on there too. Like, it's very multi-purpose. So last step, and again, this is just an option. This is a bonus step, and it depends on if you truly have 5 minutes or if brows are a thing for you. But I would run my Brow Gal micro definer brush through my brows just to kind of darken them a little. I feel like when my brows are darkened, it does kind of frame my face a little bit better and make me feel more put together. And again, like, this is something where I literally dip my brush into the tube and then just brush it through my brows. So it's not really in all like a major process or anything like that, but I think it adds a little something, and it really makes you look a little bit more put together. At least that's how I view my face after I've done this step, is I do feel a bit more put together. Those are the products that I would reach for to do a 5-minute face, and these are also the products that I think might be helpful for a mom or a new mom, someone who's trying to get ready for the day and they just don't have a bunch of time. I think that not having to pull for multiple products is key here, making sure that you've got either a makeup bag or a little makeup station where everything you need is within arm's reach. You've got all of your needs met in a very small, reachable, portable product. For me, blush, bronzer, highlight, these are really good shades. They work well for my skin tone. Obviously, if you're like super, super fair, this might be a little dark for you. So either you could try and find a face palette that has shades that suit your skin tone better, or you could even try and build a little Z palette or an empty palette and put shades in that work for your skin tone, and then have everything you need in one spot that you have personally curated. But truly, I can't stress enough, one-stop shop is the most important thing here. But that was my 5-minute face, and I was actually able to do this in real time in one cut because I'm headed off to work. So wherever you are today, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Let me know what you think of this video and what you would put in your little makeup bag for your 5-minute face. And I hope to see you and chat soon in a new video. Bye guys!